Alright guys, coming to the end of the development on the throttle body injection Mission Impossible Nightmare. What I said I would do for our 14th cut was I was just going to work on our short side airspeeds and see if it helped at all. Well, we'll take a quick look at our liquid. I don't think it looks much different than it did last time. I think it looks quite similar. Okay, you can see, you can really see the splattered turn on the exhaust valve. Now, that blue on that edge may have been left over from last flow. I don't know if I cleaned it that well. Okay, as far as the bowl, I think it looks quite similar to the last time we've seen it. And I believe the pattern on the valve is very similar as well. Okay, it is definitely narrower than a few cuts ago. And you can see where it goes all the way up to the chamber. Okay, as far as the short side radius, I pulled out the really aggressive burr and I gave it a good whack. It has a different radius. I changed the height a little bit. I took a nice piece out of our vane. It was not a small cut. It was a decent sized cut. Okay, you can see we took a decent amount of metal out of that. That short side is the widest it's been to date. In fact, it's not that far off from the width of my bow ties on the short side, which I thought was kind of interesting. That you can get that much width on there, and I do not have a thin spot on that swirl ramp yet. Now we'll know more when we cut one of these up. I was thinking about doing it beforehand. I do have to go to storage and grab my bandsaw anyway. That's a good reminder. Alright, sorry guys, I think the pause button got me again. But we can see I took a good chunk out of that swirl ramp, moved it over some more. Doesn't even look like we have a light on. Let's... Okay, that looks a little better. Sorry about the lighting issues. And the pause button. It's been a rough weekend. It's only Monday, guys. But I'm going to say these 193s are even impressing me at this point. Okay, I believe the bore is not that much different than last time we've seen it. I'm not going to say it's my absolute favorite pattern, but it may be one of those where you worry about the fuel spray pattern a little bit less and worry about more airflow and send it. Give me your input on that. Okay, we'll show you both of these right now, and then we'll compare them to the last one. Charlie forgot the bolt again, so these flows and swirls are with the forgotten bolt, because you can't have a Charlie video without at least one mistake. So this is the flows with the bolt. So let's compare them to our last cut, see what we did. Okay, guys, so as hard as it is to believe, it liked that heavy-duty cut. If we take a look at our swirl, we're 276.6 at 600 lift, and we're 2882, which is a nice number. I kind of like that number. It's got a nice progression as far as swirl. If Stevie goes nuts and we put even a bigger cam in, that'll be 287.5 CFM and 3400 swirl. Remember, it made about 3500 stock, so the basic design of the swirl is still there. It may be a little bit less, but it tops out very close. And I have it on good intel that you'd like a curve that progresses slowly and then gives it a whack at the higher end. That came from a A very high up guy in the industry, by the way. Okay, now as far as our low lifts, blah, 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 plus, plus, minus, plus, 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 plus. Okay, I'm going to say it liked it. Don't know what else to say, guys. The more I cut the short side and the more radical I make it, the more it likes it. Now, I did try to even out our short side speeds. This was 345, 328. I tried to even these. Let's see if I was successful, right? There's 17, 18. I'm not good with math like that, especially when I'm beat. Okay, so we've got a discrepancy between this and this. This is much closer. Okay, so I was successful at getting them closer. The inside sped up a lot, but in reality, I was trying to speed it up so I could take some of the pressure off the cylinder wall. Remember, the more even you get these, the more efficiently you're using the area, and we're area limited. So I tried to even them up. I was successful that way. I got more flow. I still got my swirl. If we compare our swirls to this, this actually has a touch more swirl at some points. I shouldn't say every point. Okay. Interesting. All right, let's do these other air speeds, guys. Okay, 13th cut on top. On the bottom's 14th cut. Let's put some pluses and minuses in for you. Okay, if you're a geek like me and you like this stuff, you're going to like this, the way this is shaping up. Of course, I have a feeling we're pretty much at the peak of the mountain at this point. But we have to cut it again and see where it goes. If we start to lose, then we know where we need to stay. Okay, take a look at our pinch. Our pinch is working nicely now. Okay, plus, plus, plus. Why is it plus, plus, plus? It's moving more air. Plus, it's also exiting in a different spot on the short side now. Right, the short side is more efficient. Okay, how'd we do on our roof? Minus, plus. Okay, not much, but more even than they were. More even is better. And it's a swirl port. It's going to be tough to make it even because everything wants to circle around that guide boss on the intake valve. And we increased our slows part of our short side, and we removed some of the pressure off the other parts of our short side. So overall, I'm going to say the 14th cut was a success. It pretty much stomps a AFR Enforcer at this point. And it's going to have more swirl. Pretty cool. Pretty cool from the worst cylinder head ever designed, right? Yeah, like I said, you know, for years I was telling guys, if you got, but these are the original Vortex. In 1988, they called these the Vortex. Okay, if you have original Vortex swirl port heads, they can be made to work. If we have enough guys that are interested, I will do an intake port. We'll just like cut it for a 202, 45, and some porting, and I think you'll be surprised where they come out. I bet they come out right around 250. 250 is a decent number, guys. You know, most the new Vortex don't do 250. Okay, until you do some work on them. So, where am I going to go from here? It liked that cut so much, I really feel like taking that cut, and I'll do some measuring work. As of last time I measured, it was still all thick everywhere I worked. Now, what would I do on the short side? I would work on making them even more even if I could. Okay. Now the roof, there's not really much you can do because it's the way it's going to be. I don't see that changing. I see the roof changing if I make the short side more efficient. See if you can gather that. But as far as removing metal from the roof and changing those speeds, that's going to be tough to do. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out, putting up with this project. But still, at street lifts, this thing will rock. We do have to bring it to the point we have some holes in it. And I do have to CC it for you, but it's going to be a real busy week. Tell you right now, I'll do what I can do. I mean, I don't even know what time it is. It's probably 8 o'clock and I'm still in the garage working. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.